So the final TF2 comic has finally been released after 7 years in the works, and it blew my mind. The lore revelations in this issue are gigantic, and in this video I'm going to explain to you all the major details that have been revealed. Towards the beginning of the comic, it is revealed that Marasmus has become buff, joined the Shadow Wizard Money Gang, and is in the Badlands Correctional Institute with his cellmate, Diego, who we never figure out much about. Soldier and his wife Zana have dug into the prison to get Marasmus, and it is quickly revealed that they have 2 children. So now, TF2 Merc canonically has a family with children and a wife. It's worth mentioning that this takes place far after the events of the actual game. Soldier's youngest child jumps on the back of an inmate and snaps his neck. Like father, like son or daughter, I can't really tell. Anyways, Soldier is in debt to the Korean Mafia, but he pinned the blame on Marasmus, as if he wasn't in debt to enough mafias. We are then shown a flashback to the end of the 6th comic, where Soldier keeps telling Heavy about how he's gonna get Zana pregnant. Heavy clearly isn't very happy about this. Immediately after Soldier asks Zana to marry him by proposing to her with a grenade, he tries to deliver on his promise of getting her pregnant, but it's stopped. Soldier lives in a cave full of Australium and wants to move Zana into it. Miss Pauling quickly notices the Australium Soldier is holding and realizes there is Australium left in the world, and Soldier had it the whole time. Too stupid to tell them all. Miss Pauling tells Saxon-Hale that the Australium is all gone, and Saxon-Hale steals Miss Pauling in the Merc's plane. But before that, Scout is repeatedly called a girl by Hale. Wouldn't be the first time. Spy talks about how Australians steal everything that isn't nailed down, and then another Australian steals another plane. They arrive somewhere in New Mexico, where Engineer stands from a balcony watching the Merc's plane crash. They enter a lobby of what seems to be Manco, though I have no idea if it really is Manco. Something interesting to note here is the statue that depicts what seems to be other mercenaries. Engie and Miss Pauling have a conversation surrounding the Australium. This conversation reveals that Miss Pauling's name is actually Flo. Her full name is never said, but I believe Flo is typically short for Florence. Therefore, Miss Pauling's name is likely Florence Pauling. It's worth mentioning that there are more depictions of other mercenaries on the walls. Engie tells Miss Pauling where the admin is, but chooses not to follow her, as his grandfather and father never went down there, and he figured they had a reason. At this point, I'm gonna stop repeating what the story says and only point out the major lore reveals, because I don't want to just completely repeat the comic. I want to actually tell you the lore here. After entering the room Engie refused to enter, we're immediately taken to a flashback surrounding the Administrator and the battles between Redmond and Plutarch. There are a couple things worth mentioning here that I'll list in the order of which they are revealed. The names of the father and grandfather of Zephaniah are revealed to be Ezekiel Man and Ebenezer Man respectively. Small backstories regarding these characters are revealed. Ebenezer was the youngest of 5 sons, all of which were dead by the time he purchased his first fleet. Ezekiel Man was a railroad tycoon and suffered a house fire that claimed his 3 sisters. He became a millionaire before he was 17. The purpose of the Administrator, according to Zephaniah, is to train his 2 sons to become champions, whatever that means. It is immediately revealed that both of them were smothered in their sleep by the admin, who has been talking to Zephaniah this whole time. He's hooked up to a life-extending machine and is having his eyes forced open for reasons not revealed just yet. Admin tries to hang herself, but is walked in on by Greyman, and look at this smug little young Sheldon-looking, very punchable face. Notable parts of this exchange are the fact that the Administrator is not who she says she is, so the name Helen for Admin no longer is true. Other false identities she's used are Emily and Elizabeth. Grey tries to buy Australium from the admin before she kills herself. She says she will bring it to him, but instead uses it to bring Zephaniah back to life, just to force him to watch his sons fail again and again. Back to the present, Miss Pauling approaches Admin with the Australium, but quickly hides it and lies to Admin for the very first time, leaving her and Zephaniah to crumble to dust. Engie advises Miss Pauling to take the Australium and dump it down the deepest trench she can find, which she luckily follows through with, And we don't have a repeat of admin. Then we cut to Soldier and Marasmus being tortured by the Korean Mafia. Marasmus is already dead, but his ghost is stuck listening to Soldier yapping. The comic jumps yet again, and Saxton, Maggie, and Charles Darling are fighting a Megatherium Mictlan, the protector of the Aztec underworld. It quickly cuts again to Saxton sitting in his office in Mexico with a 14-year-old Olivia Mann. He lets Olivia live a normal life and gives Mexico to a man referred to as Bidwell, but Bidwell is stupid. So a man referred to as Reddy gets the company. Heavy rescues Soldier and Marasmus. Soldier only owed 12,000 won, which in American currency is $17. So Soldier was sent to a maximum security prison and tortured to near death for $17. Marasmus and Tom Jones now haunt a brick. It cuts to Spy approaching Scout's house and picking up a letter that reveals a potential last name for Scout, Willis. However, this name does not confirm his last name since there are multiple different last names written on and scribbled over on the mailbox. These names are Mitchell, Graham, and Gibson, though Willis is the most used last name. Spy enters Scout's house, and it's shown that Scout has a lot of kids, but all his wives left him. Then it shows us this nice family montage before Scout opens the door for who I assume is the reader, I guess. I initially thought he was talking to Pyro, but we can see Pyro's mask here, so I guess Scout really just broke the fourth wall. And that is it. Oh, also Saxon, Hale, and Maggie are older now, so that's nice. So I hope you all enjoyed this video. If you did, consider liking it. And if you like my content as a whole, consider subscribing to the channel. I'm really going to try to get more videos out around this time. And yeah. Everyone have a Merry Smithmas, or Christmas, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, I'll see you in my next video. Have a great week.